GolfNewsRI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast. Joe Calabro here, along with Rich Capali. Rich is making his second show in a row this week, so congratulations to you. welcome back.
I'm trying to get it done, you know?
Yeah, I know, I get you. So last handful of things to talk about on the local end, and obviously we'll get into the pro golf chaos that continues to rage on as they get inch closer, as LIV Golf inches closer to coming to Boston. They're just down the road in New Jersey this week, so we'll get into some of that as well. There's been some developments there. Also interesting the placement of their tournament this week, not as far as course placement, but as far as days. So that'll be interesting as well. So we'll get into all that. But first, we're going to tell you that the Golf Dudes Podcast is presented by Links Drinks. Links Drinks is best known for their transfusion in a can. Rich is a big fan of transfusions. And so a transfusion is vodka, ginger ale, and grape juice. And they also have two new flavors, which is the front nine and the back nine. I said it right this time, front nine, back nine, instead of last week when I screwed up and said back nine, front nine. So check out all those flavors. Their regular transfusion is just vodka, ginger ale, and grape juice. The front nine transfusion is orange juice, and the back nine transfusion is something not one of those two. So anyway, check out
cranberry,
cranberry, I believe.
Yeah, cranberry.
So check out Links Drinks at liquor stores and country clubs near you. Fred tells me they're in about 20 clubs across the state of Rhode Island, and then various other liquor stores. So that's not a bad start for them. I mean, they're not just starting, but you get the point. So anyway, check out Links Drinks, and obviously we are always thankful for their support and their sponsoring the podcast. So that's what we have. So there's that. So on the local end of it, obviously, RI Women's Amateur is set down at Wanamatanami. Of course, the tournament was originally scheduled for Ledgemont.
At Wanamatanami.
But now it's at Wanamatanami. And the final tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. will be Morgan McLeod against Kylie Eaton. They believe it's only 18-hole final. They don't play 36 like the men, so by the time you wake up, it'll be over. It is not exactly, but pretty close. So head down to Wanamatanami early tomorrow morning. Once the sun rises, you can watch the women's amateur final tee off. It should be a great match for all the joking that we're just doing. It should be a great match. Obviously, Morgan McLeod heading to Merrimack next year. Kylie is going to be a senior at Moses Brown. Obviously, she's the defending junior amateur champion. Morgan was a great player this year in high school, and she's looking to take a state amateur title with her at college. So that's pretty good. It should be a pretty good final. Both of them have kind of cruised through their bracket. Morgan McLeod won the medalist honors, so she was the number one seed. Her and Kylie both had first round buys. The top three seeds in the women's bracket had first round buys. So they both had first round buys, and then Morgan McLeod beat Lily Dessel 1-up in the first round, which was a good match. Kylie Eaton beat her sister in the Battle of the Eatons 3, 1-up. Kylie drained a 30-foot birdie putt on 18 to win the match against her sister. And then Kylie beat Olivia Williams today, which I thought that'd be a little bit of a closer match, but Kylie won pretty easily. That's kind of a budding rivalry in high school sports. Kylie Eaton versus Olivia Williams, not in a bad way. There's no hate or anything. I'm just saying it's been going back and forth. Kylie beat Olivia in the junior am. Olivia won the high school girls state championship, and now Kylie beats her in the semifinals of the RI state am. So a little bit of a budding rivalry going on over there. So congrats to both. And then Morgan McLeod beat Addie Douglas, who's a star golfer at Fairfield this year. So
is she going to be able to use her parking spot this year, or what?
Oh,
she's got to be close to driving now, right?
Yeah, she might be close. Might be as close as
she's had the parking spot for like 3 years. She hasn't been able to use it.
If she wins the state am, they should just let her keep the parking spot. But
Ain't nobody beating that.
that'll be coming up. We could have Kylie versus Adriana 4 for the Kirkberry Club Championship coming up in a couple of weeks. So we'll worry about that when we get there. Obviously, club championship time across the state is obviously a tremendous time of year. But so we'll worry about that. But that's what we're doing tomorrow. So they tee off at 7:08 a.m. 18 holes at Wanham Autonomy for the state amateur title. Morgan McLeod against Kylie, and it should be a terrific match. It's been a great tournament so far. On the ladies' side, just like the men's tournament was great a couple weeks ago, and obviously Wanham Autonomy. There's a beautiful course, beautiful views. Like I was saying on Facebook, the views don't suck. It's just a little bit of a ride to get to. So if you are going down there, plan accordingly. So there's that. So that's kind of on that side of the local end. On the other side of the local end, which I know Rich was excited about, and everyone is excited about, it seems like, Topgolf officially broke ground yesterday in Cranston. This has been speculated for a number of years now, and finally is coming to fruition. It happened yesterday in the morning. So the plan for Topgolf, according to their officials, who we talked to, by the way, shout out to Pat Ford for giving me the heads up on the groundbreaking ceremony. So thanks to him. So I flew down to Cranston yesterday.
Did they get rid of the building yet? Did they knock the building down?
The white building.
Yeah.
There's the white building is still there. I don't know how far it went back, but the back of the lot is all dirt. But there's a
because there was a parking lot there. Tina used to work in that building way back in the day.
Yeah, so that white building is there. I'm assuming they're planning to keep it there. I guess that's what it looks like, but I'm not 1,000% sure. It just feels like they're keeping it there. They haven't knocked it down yet.
How are they going to fit? How are they going to fit the driving range in there though? It's usually what?
The back.
It's probably like. Yeah, it's usually like what, 250, 280, something like that. I think is how long it is.
Did you see the pictures on our slideshow? By the way, if you're looking for pictures, they're in our slideshow up today on the site on GolfNewsRI.com. We've got pictures of pictures for the blueprints. But the lot back there is pretty huge. I'm not sure if they cleared out space or if they had knocked down a building previously. They may have.
Let's see.
But the lot is pretty big. It's pretty big space. So while you're looking at that, doing your research, Topgolf says the building is going to be 3 floors, about 100 plus stalls for to hit balls.
I'm so excited! I cannot wait.
They're going to bring in about 400 jobs, they said, and Mayor Hopkins told us that the jobs at these places, some of these jobs at these places, start at around $70,000. So. Hopefully help people get some jobs. I don't know what the jobs entail. I'm not sure what kind of. I'm not familiar with Topgolf, so I don't want to speak.
Dude, I am so pumped! I cannot wait.
That's what Mayor Ken Hopkins said yesterday. They said some of these jobs start at around $70,000 a year, and they're like approximately 400 jobs of them. There's bartenders, there's servers. I'm sure there's.
You gotta. The servers and bartenders, they gotta make bank.
Yeah, so there's that. So if you're looking for a job in the near future, perhaps Topgolf is for you again. I've never been to Topgolf, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but it seems like a pretty cool place to work just looking by the picture. So there's that. So super excited for Topgolf. Should be interesting to see how well it
fall
goes.
of next year. That's not bad.
They're hoping to open. Yeah, they're open in the fall of next year, fall of 2023, which I think people were expecting like longer time, but I guess they're gonna
just a little bit over a year. That's not too bad.
Yeah. So one thing that will be interesting is just to monitor the construction as it
Oh yeah, you can go right over you can drive by on the highway and monitor it.
Yeah. So
you can see it right from 37,
and you see it right from Chapel View too.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to
all right.
I see that lot is humongous.
Yeah. All right. So it's gonna go. It's probably gonna run parallel to the white building.
I believe that's correct.
I thought it was good. Oh yeah, because that doesn't make sense if you're if people who hit balls over the net to the highway. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty long. You're right.
Yeah. So
I can't freaking wait. I'm so excited.
so
It's
so
something different to do. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, it's also a cool place. I know they have targets and all kinds of stuff.
You
And
can
again,
play
it's free.
games and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
there's
sweet.
video games, there's
Yeah.
concessions, there's other things.
I think they said there's going to be like three separate different bars in there or something, or three separate like bar areas in there with like different like themes and stuff like that. So it's going to be sick.
So that's going to be really interesting. Obviously, a lot of excitement yesterday down in Cranston. It was fun to walk through the dirt and talk to these Topgolf people. So that should be interesting. So again, that's opening in fall of 2023. Now, of course, the other part of this, the other part of the story that I was interested in was the Mulligan's Island part of the story. And as we reported, Mulligan's had a deal to sell 2 years ago. It was shot down by the city of Cranston. And yesterday, I asked Mayor Ken Hopkins about Mulligan's Island and about their situation going forward. And he actually gave me a real answer, which credit to him. And he actually said things are on the board. And we have his sound right here. So we'll play that now and we'll come right back.
On the board for that property. Again, my initial thought is that we always want to keep a certain part of that as open space recreation. If you notice, on Friday we do our food truck project, and the place has been booming this summer. So we want to keep that part of it. But there is another phase that we're looking at. It will not be anything related to big boxes or big businesses, but I can't give you the full details until I meet with the neighborhood and let them. All
right, that was Mayor Ken Hopkins yesterday at the Topgolf groundbreaking, and he said that there's drawings on the board for Mulligan's Island for the property to be sold or whatever, but he said it's not going to be big box stores or big big store, big whatever, big company,
big retail.
Yeah. So he said it's going to be a lot of green space and whatever else they decide to put in there, but plans are not final yet. Obviously, he wants to talk to the community. So I thought what he said was interesting, and certainly gave some insight to the situation, because Mulligan's, like we said, has been trying to get out of there for years, and now that Topgolf is a real thing, actually really like coming, you got to think they're trying to get out of there as soon as possible.
And you also got to think, now I'm not speaking for him, but Spargo, you got to think he might be trying to get into this Topgolf because it's right next door, and it's more commercialized, which means more commercialized customers, a lot of big spenders and stuff like that. So you got to wonder. I mean, he's one of the best club fitters in the state, so you got to wonder what's going to happen with there. Maybe he knows something on the inside and he's trying to get out or something like that. Now that's completely not true. I'm just speculating. I'd love to.
Fargo's not at Mulligan's anymore. They moved.
Oh, he's not?
No.
Where is he?
I'm not 1,000% sure, but they're not.
Oh, because I just drove by there the other day and it said, and the sign was still up on the Mulligan side. Maybe
he's being forced to move. So he messed up. I don't know if this is on the record or not, so I don't want to get in trouble. But no, he replied to Spargo replied to our Instagram story featuring Mayor Hopkins, which I know you saw. Yesterday, I think I put it up yesterday. Anyway, whatever. And he said that they were forced to move the shop after being there for 13 years. So I don't know if they are currently moving or had moved, but that's just what he said. And he said some other stuff, but I'm gonna leave that out for now. But he said they were forced to move after 13 years. So I took that as they're out of there. Now I don't know where they are, but something to keep an eye on. And you wonder if some of these businesses are going to try to get into Topgolf. I don't know if Topgolf has like suites or spots for these types of things, but it could be interesting. And I guess they're going to build highways, like a highway exit leading directly to like Topgolf to kind of cut down.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this thing right now. So basically, that whole Davol building is going to block this. The only way you're going to be able to see it is from the highway. Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. So again, if
Hmm.
you're wondering what Rich is looking at, he's looking at the pictures we have up in our slideshow on GolfNewsRI.com.
It's
Again,
the last slideshow. It's like a bird's eye view of how it's going to be laid out.
It's like the floor plan kind of thing. So yeah, that was certainly interesting yesterday. It's certainly exciting. Everyone seems like it's obviously it's a huge deal. It's the only Topgolf in New England at the moment. They beat out Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, and I believe Vermont first.
That's crazy. I think the closest one to us right now is New Jersey. I think
that's correct.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait.
It's going to be interesting to see what what happens with it. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to be successful. So there's that. What's interesting? Somebody commented on our post on Instagram. They said, what's going to happen to regular driving ranges. There's very few, if not any, regular driving ranges around. I know Jeff Dantis has one down in Warren. He just opened up a driving range down in Warren, but you might just have
like a couple of the golf courses, Cranston, North Kingstown. They have.
Triggs has a range now.
Triggs has a range. Yep.
So yeah,
like the standalone driving range is pretty much non-existent anymore.
Yeah. So like I said, I know Jeff Dantis has one down in Warren. He just opened that 2 years ago. But yeah, it's interesting how the tables are turning. Standalone driving ranges used to be the thing way back. I remember the one on
and Mulligan's used to be the thing too. You know what I mean? Mini golf. I don't know if they had. I don't know if they had go-karts, but mini golf, batting cages, the little par 3 course in the back, driving range. It was fantastic. Now it's like, I mean, I think I said this when we first talked about this. I said the average guy who's on his lunch break in that area is not going to want to go through all the hustle and bustle of going through Topgolf. They want to go to Mulligan's. They want to get out of their car, pay for their balls, hit their balls, and get out. They don't want to be around like loud music. They just want to get in and out, hit a bucket of balls for their lunch break, and get out. I mean, that's not going to happen anymore unless they're going to be forced to go to Topgolf.
Well, they're going to go to Cranston, or if they're members.
No, Cranston, yeah, true, yeah.
Or, whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. It's interesting to see the shift in the driving range, story. Now it used to be the biggest thing. Now is, like you said, standalone driving ranges aren't really a thing. So that's that. Those kind of the two biggest stories of the week. Obviously the Women's Am and then Topgolf groundbreaking yesterday. And again, slideshow on our website. You can also see Mary Hopkins' full comments if you want to see them again on our website, as well as GolfNewsRI got yesterday. So the other two minor stories, then a quick commercial break. I say minor, relatively speaking. Mike Hamilton, our guy, with a big win this week at the Stroke Play, a big bounce back victory at Stroke Play Championship in Montauk. He wins it just a couple weeks after losing the our amateur in heartbreaking fashion. So big win for him. He'll be back in the Northeast Amateur next year. If he won it by, I think he won the Stroke Play by 2 shots. He held on for dear life. Kevin Silva made a big charge. And then Max Jackson missed the match play cut at the US Junior Am at Bandon Dunes this week, unfortunately. He shot an even par round at Bandon Dunes, but a 6-over par round at Bandon Trails was not what he needed. But obviously, great experience for him. It was cool to see some of the videos his father put up when they announced him on the tee and said from Cumberland, Rhode Island, Maxwell Jackson, and all this other stuff. So it was cool to follow. It was a fun handful of days as a follow. I'm not sure. I'm imagining they're home by now, but I'm not 100% sure. But congrats to him on a great run, and now he gets set for the RI Junior Am, which is at 3 different courses, and his high school season and whatever else he's playing in the rest of the summer. So good run by him, and obviously congrats to Mike Hamilton on another big victory. He now gets set for another Kirkbride Club Championship run and another impending battle with Tommy McCormick. So I'll look forward to that. That'll be the next thing I'll look forward to. It's almost, I don't want to say it's a given at this point, but it's close.
Unless somebody gets incredibly lucky.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that because there's a lot of good players, but it seems like
The domination's insane.
the two of them have been going back and forth for the last like 3 or 4 years. So,
Yep.
But either way, we'll obviously have coverage of that, and obviously all the other club championships as well, as those start in the coming days. So there's that. So on the that's kind of what we have on the local end. And again, thanks to everyone for continuing to follow our coverage. Has some great content again this week. And also a special hello to everyone in the Kirkbride 4-Day, which is going on this week. I caddied on Wednesday, didn't caddy on Thursday, probably will caddy on Friday, and Saturday only if my dad's in the championship, because the other the alternate to not be in the championship, no offense to anyone, is brutal. So if not, I'll be up there on Saturday anyways to see everybody. Anyways, so good luck to everybody in the 4-Day, and hello to everybody in the Kirkbride 4-Day this year. So that's what we have on the local end. Now we'll get into a Rich's segment of the show that he likes, which is the pro golf segment of the show, with the chaos going on with LIV and the PGA Tour. And we will do that right after this commercial break. This is the Golf Dudes Podcast. We'll be right back in just a minute. Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Pake.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
I mean, we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National. You could not see 50 yards.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast, presented by Links Drinks. The first segment, we hit on the RI Women's Am, which is Kylie Eaton against Morgan McLeod tomorrow morning, Friday morning at 7 a.m. We have Topgolf groundbreaking, which was a big business story of the week. Super excited to be there yesterday. And again, kudos to Pat Ford for calling me bright and early on Wednesday morning and telling me to get down to Cranston. And so I did. And I ended up getting a great quote from Mayor Hopkins on the Mulligan Island situation, which I still think is a fascinating part of this story. I still think is an important part of the story. As exciting as Topgolf is, Mulligan's is still an important part of the story. So I got that. And then we talked about Max Jackson and Mike Hamilton's successes and not successes in the Junior Am and the RI Stroke play, respectively. And now we get into your segment of the show, the pro golf chaos, and it continues to be chaos. We're just a little over a month from LIV Golf coming to Boston and the International over Labor Day weekend. They're going to be super exciting. Preferential requests open up in early August, so I'm going to check on August 1st. I think that's Monday or Tuesday. So I'll be checking there and doing that. So hopefully we'll be there. But if not, we'll maybe buy a ticket or whatever. We'll worry about that when we get there. But a month away from LIV Golf coming to Boston, their war with the PGA Tour continues. It seems like they're getting the upper hand almost, and in a lot of respects, as more and more guys go. Recently, just Wednesday night, as we reported, Bubba Watson is officially going to LIV, even though he denied it to begin with. And this week, I think they did something very interesting. They're actually almost going head to head with the PGA Tour.
They're going to blow them out.
So you think they're going to blow them out? So for those that don't know, LIV is streaming on YouTube Friday to Sunday. The previous 2 tournaments were Thursday to Saturday, I believe. So this week they're Friday to Sunday at Trump Bedminster in New Jersey. Today on Thursday they're having a pro-am, which includes Charles Barkley, Donald Trump, Caitlyn Jenner, a handful of other people that I don't even recognize their names. But either way, pro-am today is going on there. And this week they moved their tournament up 1 to Friday to Sunday, which is interesting because they're going to go head to head with the tour, and especially on Sunday. So your thoughts on kind of their schedule change? You think they're going to blow them out? It's going to be interesting to see the comparison between the two. Obviously, the live fields get better and better. It feels like every week. So
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I knew it was going to be good or decent. I didn't think it was going to be this good. The live train is rolling, and I think Jay Monahan's crapping himself a little bit because, like we talked about weeks past, this mini tour in the fall isn't going to be enough because I guarantee you they're going to get more players. Obviously, we got a new player last night. They got a new player last night. He needs to think of something fast because obviously Greg Norman and Liv are setting up their events for next season. It's going to be more than the six that they had this year, or 8, whatever it is. It's probably going to be 8 to 12 to maybe 16 or something like that.
14, yeah.
Oh, 14, even, yeah, that's perfect for a second season. That's fine. And the choo-choo train is not going to stop. These guys, they're going to, the live guys are going to be squawking about how good it is, how big their bank account is, how much they get how well they get treated. A lot of people, especially the younger people, saw the Instagram post about the plane that carries the live players everywhere.
I didn't think that was even real at first.
It's like I wouldn't say a nightclub on nightclub in the air, but it's like a 50-star hotel in the air. It absolutely insane. I think it might have been Pat Perez that tweeted it out. But yeah, the word of mouth's gonna travel, and people who were bad mouthing this whole thing just because it's blood money and the money's dirty and all this shit, there's gonna be a lot more people that defect. It's gonna happen. The PGA Tour is getting stale as far as just playing stroke play events and only having 2 or 3 match play events a year. There's no team aspects or anything like that, except for that the Louisiana one at TPC Louisiana. It's gonna get worse. The off season, there's gonna be more people. Maybe, who knows? Next week, I mean, who knows? It's gonna get worse, and he needs to figure out something other than giving the purses an extra $2 million or something, whatever the hell it may be. He's got to figure it out, and he's got to listen to the players. JT, Rory, Justin Spieth, Jordan Spieth, young guys but veterans who are still there. They got to listen to them because I mean they know what's going on. So they better be very careful. They're gonna lose a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Smith has been rumored to go, but he hasn't officially committed yet. Other guys have been in talks.
That's a two-time major winner, 1 time, but technically 2 because he won the Players. I always think the Players is a major, but yeah, Bubba Watson, 2-time major champion, gone. Brooks Koepka, 4-time. Matsuyama, like
I think.
Speaking of Matsuyama, have you seen his new swing?
He doesn't stop at the top anymore.
He doesn't stop at the top. He gained like 30 yards.
Yeah,
he's absolutely hitting the piss out of the ball. I saw that yesterday. I'm like, holy shit! He's like absolutely bombing drives now. But yeah,
things right on the spot.
Yeah.
So have you? So let me ask you this then. So we both watched most of the last 2 events. A good at least I don't want to say most, but at least a good portion of them.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Have you found yourself invested in one team or the other? Yeah. Are you at that point yet?
No, I'm invested in the fact that it's different. It's different. We're not panning from one guy to the other. No, it's a team aspect. There's team winners, and then there's a single winner. What was it? Charles Schwartzel, $4 million, one
Correct.
Shot for 3 days worth of golf. Shotgun start done on a Saturday at 2:00. Are you kidding me? Come on. It seems like a no-brainer, but everyone is so up in arms about the money, where it comes from. And I understand it. I get it. The Saudis do not treat people well, especially women and gay people and all that stuff. It's bad. But you got to try to. I mean, the layman like you and me probably can't put themselves in. But if you're making, I don't know, what's 45th on the PGA Tour in a tournament? Couple grand, maybe 10 grand or something like that.
Probably.
If you're so whatever it is, so we'll say 5 grand. We'll say 5 grand.
Yeah.
And you're a middle of the pack player. Let's say like I can't even think right now. I mean, Bubba Watson, technically, right? He's kind of like a middle of the pack player as it stands right now.
He is now.
So, he has star power though. Like he's very, very good in the community and stuff like that. I mean, I guess we could use it. So we'll say he gets $5,000 for a 45th place finish, or you get. He's probably I would say probably like $50 million or $60 or $70 million all in one lump sum, and you still get money for finishing in the tournament and a shit ton more money if you win than being on the PGA Tour. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I mean,
and it's different, different format. You know, it's just I don't know. Less travel. There's only 6 events this year. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's going to go up as opposed to them. Now, the only thing that they have to figure out how to integrate world ranking points in. So I heard that. What did we say it was? The Chinese tour or something like that?
No, isn't it the Asia tour?
The Asia tour. That may be a loophole that they can maybe sneak through and keep.
Because all these players go and play events on the Asia tour. By the way, the Asia tour gets like no world ranking points because their events, the players stink. But if all these pros go and play, the world ranking points increase. But if LIV Golf gets world ranking points, which there should be an announcement coming from the OWGR in weeks, I would think. But,
so then that doesn't mean anything anymore. But
the problem is the OWGR board that decides it features like Jay Monahan, the RNA guy. So it's kind of like it's
the European tour, the DP, the European tour. Yeah. So
it seems kind of like fixed almost. But
see, my whole thing is that Monahan's stance has to be because it's got to be because of the money, I guess. You know. They're a corporation. I get it. But why not? I mean, especially this year, it was only 6 events that are on dead weeks. 3 was it the 3M this week? Garbage tournament. The other one was
this week's the Rocket Mortgage, but yeah,
Rocket Mortgage. Sorry, yeah.
But generally speaking, you're correct. Yes,
they're all on garbage weeks. That none of these big guys, i.e. Dustin Johnson, Brooks, they weren't going to play in those things anyways. Right. So why not let them? Why? I just don't understand why they don't. Why? Like, I don't get it.
I think eventually what you'll see is they're
eventually going to crap. They're going to collapse. Yep.
We'll just have to merge to play the tours.
I meant break down. They're going to break down and merge. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
may not be next year, may not be the year after, but eventually it's just going to become too hard, and it's going to get taken to court. I think, you know.
Well, there are already lawsuits, right? They're reported during the British.
There's a million lawsuits that are going to happen. Guys have lost their tour cards. I mean, which like the Brooks and stuff like that, they don't give a shit. They've already dominated the sport for over a year. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I'm going to try to watch. Excuse me. I'm going to try to watch it. Probably a little bit tomorrow and a little bit on Sunday.
Well, the shotgun is starting until 1:15 in the afternoon. So
even better.
So
it's fantastic.
So right there, they'll be shotgunning right as the PGA Tour is going on air.
To Golf Channel. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Obviously, it's going to be tough to compare. Obviously, people are going to compare the two. It's going to be tough to compare apples to apples because streaming viewership isn't judged the same way as the TV viewership. But you'll still be able to see the streaming numbers and how many people are watching at kind of what time and that kind of thing. So it will be interesting from that point of view to look to compare the two compare the two products. And the Rocket Mortgage is not a dumpy event. It's a decent. I mean, I think that our field is okay. It's better than most fields.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. But yeah, so that's what we have going on. I know Rich is playing some golf this week. By the way, you played Meadowbrook on
Gimbal, that's
Wednesday.
what it's
How was
called.
that?
Good. It was perfect. The weather, it was hot-ish. It wasn't bad. I actually wore a baseball hat instead of my big sun hat, so that was good. I really didn't sweat that much. It was warm. The property is pristine, absolutely nice. It was actually wet. They overwater, no brown spots. Everything was green. The greens were pure, pretty much. Yeah, overall, I mean, I think I paid what, $70. I would do it over and over again all summer. It was fantastic.
Awesome. So that's what we have going on. The next week, I start my club championship tournament in the Division Q. So we'll be prepping for that next week. And obviously, we have the Junior M coming up. We have a couple of riders playing in the Northern Junior up in New Hampshire. We have Patrick Wells, Davis Chatfield, and Christopher Encore playing in the Western Amateur, which starts next week. And then we have the U.S. Amateur. Still, there's only 1 month left of the season of the summer, but still lots going on. So we'll have all of that covered. So unless you have anything to add, I don't know if you're looking something up or whatever, but
no, I'm looking up that the phone stabilizer thing.
Oh yes, we talked about that.
It's called a gimbal stabilizer. I couldn't remember. In the pre-show, I couldn't remember what the hell it was called.
Yeah, so stay tuned for our gimbal stabilizer. We're gonna have golf content coming in for that. So until that time, we will talk to you all next week, same time. Well, yeah, same bad time, same bad channel. This is the Golf Dudes podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for following us all week. We will have coverage of all kinds of things coming up, including the Kurt Brave 4-Day on Saturday. And if I'm caddying in the championship, if my dad makes it, perhaps I will stream the whole thing live. We'll see. It could be interesting. Could be interesting content. Anyway, Rich, I will see you later. Thanks for hanging out today. We will talk to all you guys throughout the weekend on GolfNewsRI.com. And good luck to both Kylie and Morgan McLeod tomorrow morning in the Ryan Women's Amateur. That's all we got. This is the Golf Dudes podcast.